Welcome, everybody. You are tuned in to the hottest sports show online and on your TVs now. 409 The Heat Sports presents Mad Sports, where we cover everything from sports to more sports.
Best topic
and
in town.
Sports. Okay? I'm just telling you, we're going to call you sports tonight. Anyway, I'm your host, David Hicks, with my man, Richard James from the Fit Lab. You doing good tonight?
It's good. Any day there's sports, it's good.
Any day that there's sports, they're good. And I don't know a day there's not sports, except during baseball season. But that's okay, because I'm not a big baseball fan. But we won't take away from the show with that. Tonight's episode is brought to you by the wonderful people down at Reliable Copy Service in Beaumont, Texas. Reliable Copy Service is bringing you all your copier needs. Do you need business cards? Of course you need business cards. Do you need laminates? Of course you need laminates. Look, I'm just playing around, but they have everything you need. They're great people. They're really down to earth. They're really friendly, serviceable. Anything you need, you can reach them at 409-835-1218. They're being there when you need us is their motto. And look, I need them to be there when I need them. So give them a call. They're located at 2498 Washington Boulevard in Beaumont, Texas. That's Reliable Copy Service. For all your copier needs, all of them, reach them. I'm going to stop hitting you for most of the show, but I'm just letting you know.
It's a sport.
It's a sport. It's called boxing. Look, tonight's a great show. We're going to be going over NFL. We're going to be going over college football. We are going to talk a little MMA. We're going to be talking about my workouts because my man here, Richard, really been trying to get me to work out. And as you could tell by the extra tight t-shirt I got on tonight, I've been hitting the weights. So we're going to get into everything. But first, let's talk NFL. We're going to be picking games. Let's get into it. Week 1 is coming up.
Week 1. Let's go with the team that a lot of hometown people like and follow, Dallas Cowboys. We'll kick it off with their game.
I'd rather not. That's okay. We'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys first. They suck is number 1. Number 2, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. You can send your email hate to Richard James okay.
That's for the Carolina fans.
Yeah, that's the Carolina Panther fan. Anyway, so who are they playing?
Dallas versus Giants.
Dallas versus Giants. It's a big match up for week 1, of course, because it's a rivalry game. They're always bringing the heat. Eli Manning is at least 85 years old. His face is 92, but that's okay because we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Who you got? Where are they playing?
I've got the Cowboys.
Of course you do.
Zeke or no Zeke. Obviously, you can tell by the hat. I'm going with them. Since we're doing these picks throughout the season, I'm thinking the Cowboys are going 11-13 victories this year.
All right.
So if I just go with them every week of the year,
and write that down.
I'm a winner.
Richard believes delusional pick. Okay, so he's picking the Cowboys. I'm going to go Giants. The reason I'm going to go Giants is this. Even though they suck, it's something about the turmoil they've had. They've had some movements. Eli's got something to prove. Cowboys got this weird thing going on right now with Jerry Jones, with the Zeke Elliott thing. I'm going to go Giants. Richard's going Cowboys. We're marking those downs. Each week we're going to be picking games. At the end of the year, there's going to be something on the line. I don't know what it is yet. In the next week or so, we're going to get to an actual bet, something we're going to have to do. We might even leave it up to you fans to pick something crazy for one of us to do, like wrestle a gator down at Gator Country. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But he's going Dallas. I'm going Giants. What's game number 2 for us?
New England versus Pittsburgh.
New England. Next pick.
Well, we're both New England, and if you pick New England,
that's fine.
We're on the same page. We don't even have to go into why then.
We don't even have to go into why. It's New England, and if you pick against them this year, you're a fool. Okay. Now, next pick.
It's the most difficult decision I had of the week. Was the Green Bay
wearing that hat? I got you. All right.
Was the
first game of the season?
The Green Bay Bears game.
Green Bay Bears. Green Bay, Chicago is always a big rivalry game. It's when growing up, you know, I'm a bit younger than you, not too much, but a bit. I remember my first Super Bowl I really remember was 85.
So if you remember the Roger Staubach days,
well,
you'd have been wearing this hat.
But I don't, so that's why I'm not wearing that hat, because I have a problem with putting trash on my head. But anyway, you're going to see a lot of Cowboy hate on this side of the table, probably for all season.
I'll try to balance it out over here.
Yeah.
It'll be a tough job, though.
It will be a tough job, but we're going to do what we can. Anyway, Green Bay, Chicago, who are you taking and why?
I'm going to go with Green Bay. Just Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to go with him as the difference maker. I could go either way with this game, though, so I'm not tied to anyone in particular. But I'm going to go with, it's almost an upset in my book. I'm going with Green Bay.
Where are we at? Are we at Chicago or at Green Bay?
I'm not quite sure for that game. I have to go back and look.
That's okay, though. I believe I'm going to go Green Bay as well, just because it's Aaron Rodgers. I hate to pick the same pick as you, but it is Aaron Rodgers. It's opening night. You know, the Packers are always kind of ready to go. I think they had a lot of things going on in the offseason. I think Aaron Rodgers has something to prove. He's always been that talked about guy, talked about quarterback as he's the other guy in the league who's, I mean, when you put up the top 5 quarterbacks, he's always in there, but he doesn't get the job done at the end of the day.
Right. Well, he hasn't had the supporting cast.
Not at
to
all.
Help him, so
that is a hard pick. We're going to go Green Bay. What's our next game?
Chiefs versus Jacksonville.
I'll go first on this one. I'm taking the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to be hard to beat this year. I think Mahomes is a beast, and I don't see the Chiefs really losing too many games this year, and to me this is kind of a no-brainer personally.
I'm in complete agreement with you there.
Going Jacksonville. Gotcha. I'll put that down.
All right. We're going to have a hard time here if we only have one team.
That's right, man. We got a lot of games to pick, man. We got a lot of games to pick. All right. We're going to the next one.
Vikings versus Atlanta.
Okay. Your turn to pick first.
I'm going with the Vikings.
Oh, see? There we go. There's our pick.
I'm leaning towards that Vikings defense.
Okay.
Atlanta, a lot of times in clutch situations, hasn't gotten it done. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, they've got a great team.
They've got a great offense.
Great offense, but I don't know if they can pull it out.
Well, I'll go Atlanta just to make things different because this, to me, was a hard choice between the two.
I agree.
I do like the Vikings defense. Atlanta, they tend to start the season strong.
Yes.
They don't finish too well, especially in Super Bowls.
Second half.
Saw that joke coming, didn't you, Atlanta? Okay, all right. So, but yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta. You'll go Vikings. That's a different pick. Next game.
Go Ravens versus Dolphins.
Ravens versus Dolphins. The Ravens aren't what they used to be. They've lost Flacco. I know they've got a Jackson, and they've got a different. It's almost like we're seeing a whole new Ravens team this year to me. But who are the Dolphins?
Exactly. I think their ship's a little lower in the water.
I mean, who are the Dolphins since Marino? I'm just saying. Like, let's be honest. They're every year the experts. Oh well, Miami's really got a shot to do something this year, and then they're not there. So. You're going who? Ravens?
I'm going Ravens.
Going Ravens? I'm going Ravens. Easy money there. Next pick.
Jets versus Bills.
Jets versus Bills. Jets. Jets. That's how y'all do it up in New York, right? Holla at me. You just email me at madsports409theheat.reliablecopy.com.
So you're picking the Jets?
I'm going Jets.
Okay,
Jets,
we're in
Jets,
agreement
Jets.
there as well. A couple of years ago, that would not have been my choice, but it is now.
I think Bell is going to have a great season. I think he's going to do really well. We're going Jets. Plus, he's on my fantasy team. Need him to go ahead and handle up for me. All right.
I've got Patrick Mahomes on mine, so
I do too.
Pretty good. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Rams versus Panthers.
Well, you know my pick.
I already know your pick.
Carolina.
I'm gonna have to go against you.
That's fine
on that one.
We don't even need to say why, because I'm right and you're wrong. Next pick. Let's go, Cam. Wham, bam, thank you, Cam. All right.
He's going to stay healthy?
Maybe. If I get an offensive line, I might have to go block for him. I'm about the same. Jeez.
Browns versus Titans.
Are the Browns for real is the real question. They better show up the first game to do it. Going Browns?
I'm going Browns.
We're both going Cleveland. We'll move on. We're going to talk a little bit about them later. Who you got?
Eagles versus Redskins.
Eagles, Redskins.
Hope they both lose somehow.
Another rivalry. I'm going Eagles just because he's a Dallas fan. How about that?
Eagles as well here.
Oh, man. See, that just shows me right there. He's not really a true Dallas fan.
Well, they're both in the Cowboys division.
Ain't trying to hear it. Ain't trying to hear it. I'm going Philly for my cousins up in Philadelphia right now. Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Let's go. Next.
Seahawks and Bengals.
Are the Seahawks what they used to be is the real question. And is Cincinnati still the only playoff team to lose all the time? Cincinnati's always decent.
Yeah, they're not too decent this year.
I'm going Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks as well.
Easy.
That's a pretty easy
That
pick.
should be an easy one. That'd probably be the one we lose. That's all right. That's the NFL for you. Continuing on.
Chargers versus, well, I guess their opponent retired, so we can skip that game.
Woo!
Chargers versus Colts.
Going Colts, huh? All right. Wow. Shots fired. I'm picking against the Colts all year.
Yep. Chargers there for both of us.
It is what it is.
Cardinals versus Detroit.
I lean toward Arizona.
We're
Is
both leaning in
Fitzgerald
the same
still
direction.
alive? Right? He's still alive, right? Yeah. Okay. I got to go with Arizona. I don't even know why. But
I'm with you there.
Detroit just
Cardinals.
doesn't ever scare me since Barry Sanders. Both picking Arizona.
49ers versus Bucks.
Garoppolo. Sucks. I'm going Bucks. Who you got?
I'm going against you there. I'm going with the 49ers. They're revamped. They were coming on strong last year. They have a lot of additions. I think they're going to take it to the Bucks.
I think their quarterback sucks, and I think Tampa Bay ain't any good either.
Yeah,
but I'm going Tampa Bay just to make
Do you
things.
want to talk about Tampa Bay's quarterback?
Just to make things interesting, I'm going Tampa Bay.
His track record's not the best either.
That's all right.
So-
Wrapping it up here, we got a few more picks
We
to
got
go.
2 games to go. We have the Saints versus the Texans.
Here's a big game on this end of the world down here in Southeast Texas.
It is.
Saints, Texans. Who you got as a Cowboys fan?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to the Bayou and go with the Saints.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Breeze and the Saints. The Texans, I don't think they...
I'm going Saints because I know what the Texans do on primetime games, and that's blow it. And I hate to say that, but they have never showed up to a primetime game since they were the Oilers. So let's just be real. Name me a primetime game.
Your email box is going to be full this week.
Reach me at Richard James Reliable CopyFitLab.com. And last game of the week,
Raiders versus Broncos.
the Raiders.
After watching Hard Knocks and seeing them coming together in certain areas, get you a little insider perspective. I definitely say the Raiders as well.
Is my man from Baltimore, who is now Flacco with the Broncos, will he have an outstanding year and go back to the Flacco who kind of just gets the job done, is what I'd like to see this year.
At best, he just managed to manage the game. I don't see...
The Broncos have a good defense. They're solid defensively, one of the most solid defense in the league, but Flacco's really their big question mark this year. First game of the year. Are the Raiders for real? We'll see. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
I think
You're going Raiders.
Right. Carr to Antonio Brown is going to light up your...
He's calling it. Those are our picks for the week. We will get y'all some more information. We really want to do bet, and we're going to be picking these games every week. We're just going head-to-head, no spreads. So we'll see who has the best picks. I can pretty much...
16-0 here.
Wow. So not only does the hat not look good, but it also makes his brain delusional. We'll be right back with Mad Sports here on 409 The Heat Sports. We are back. 409 The Heat Sports presents Mad Sports with your host David Hicks and
Richard James.
let him say it that time. That way there's no beef, because there's already enough beef in between these.
That's what the gloves are for.
That's what the gloves are for in this basketball. You can get crossed. I'm just saying. So, look, we're going to get into it. Is football season. We're going to get into the college football. We've already had some games played. It's already ramped up. Top 10. You kind of know going in Clemson, Alabama.
Exactly.
I don't know too many people that are not picking Clemson, Alabama to be in that Final Four at the end of the year.
Both the AP and coaches poll at the beginning of the season had them 1 and 2. Clemson
So,
number 1.
If I got to put in stone, we're going to just put Clemson here and we'll put Alabama there. But we've got to round out the top 4. I really hope in the next few years we see it go 8. I would love to see an 8-team tournament. I think it gives even more just there's more money to be made. It's a little more exciting. I know they want to keep it at that 4, which I'm glad they're at least at the 4. So
I think more exposure for some universities and players that want to make it to the next level.
For sure.
So it's a win for a lot of people involved.
So we're just going to kind of go with the top 10, run down the top 10 as it is kind of off and on.
Beginning of the season, called before any game was played.
That's right.
1 and 2 we talked about, Clemson, Alabama. Number 3, Georgia. 4, Oklahoma. 5, Ohio State, the Buckeyes. 6, LSU. A lot of fans here for LSU. Michigan, Florida, Notre Dame, and Texas rounds out number 10.
Then you have coming right in behind that is your Oregons, your A&Ms, your Washingtons, a lot of those big name programs right there in that top 20. Out of those top 10, who do you kind of see just going in beginning of the year? It's really too early to tell, of course. They lose that one game. They're kind of almost out of it.
Exactly.
It seems lately we've seen a little more parity in college football. It's almost it's almost every year, almost every team, but maybe 1 or 2 lose at least one game.
Yes.
Sometimes even 2. And there's always that argument, does a 2-loss SEC team get in over a 1-loss Pac-12 or whatever it is?
You start talking strength of conference and all those
you have all
details.
That. So if you had to pick 2 other teams, let's say I'll give you 4 teams to watch this year that you really think could be in that top 4 at the end of the year with Clemson, Alabama, who would you go with?
I like Georgia. They're at number 3, and I kind of agree that.
No, that means nothing.
that means nothing.
That means nothing. Yeah, of course you would. No,
and I'm going to say Ohio State's been strong. They were really good.
Yeah.
But LSU has potential. So I'm now I'm going to lean towards Ohio State because LSU has disappointed us too often. Over the years.
LSU's always got that. Is it this year that they're going to be LSU again? They always have a great recruiting class. It's SEC, and that's the big thing. It's the same thing I always say with the ACC in basketball season. SEC football is the league.
It is the league.
I mean,
yes.
Big 12 is strong. Big 10, you got these strong conferences, and I'm not taking anything away from any other conferences except maybe the ACC, who only has Florida State. But let's just be honest. The SEC is where it's at. They've got that power. They're going to beat the tar out of each other if you make it out of the SEC.
And they've shown that for too many years now.
Yeah,
it's not like it's just a fluke and it just happens. This has happened over and over, year after year after year. You have like a Michigan. They're all alone in their division.
Exactly.
Who's going to touch them? And
ACC, it's Clemson, Florida State. Yeah. Every once in a while, Miami makes an appearance. I mean, you have all these other leagues that it's Ohio State by themselves. And there's a good team next to them, and there's solid teams. Might take, but SEC, you could take 4, 5, 6 teams and go.
Exactly.
They can have a banner year this year.
Then you start looking at the wear and tear on the teams and the players because you have a team off at another division that only has to play 1 or 2 hard games. They can rest half their team half the season.
It's like Hawaii goes undefeated all of a sudden. You're like, and they played my team, my intramural squad from, LTT Tech or something like that. You're like, yeah, well, that strength of schedule is such an important thing.
It is.
And with that SEC conference schedule, they're going to battle. So you're going Georgia and Ohio State.
Yes.
I'm leaning more Oklahoma. Just because Oklahoma seems every year to have that solid, and it seems the last few years Oklahoma's really been on the rise with their recruiting.
Rise back, yes.
I think Texas, not in that top 4, but I believe Texas is going to have a better year. I think Herman really came in and has changed that back to a winning program again. He's kind of getting some of his recruits in.
I don't think have to prove it on the gridiron, though.
I don't think top 4 for sure, but I do think they'll have a better year. Florida has a lot of weaknesses that Miami kind of exposed that first week, but they look strong. The quarterback looked strong. The defense looked pretty solid. They've got to, without those turnovers, that's a rout.
Right.
But turnovers are a big part of the game, and Miami isn't this massive. They weren't even ranked top 25. You've got to go in and blow them out. Florida versus Florida game or not. You've got to go in there and handle business, which they won, but not convincingly like you think they should. If I had to pick somebody with the Clemson, Alabama, I'm going to go Georgia and Oklahoma. Those are my other 2 that I think will be in that top 4. So I'm going
you agree
straight
with the
top
AP
4
and the
right off
coaches
the
poll,
bat.
right? You're right.
I don't see a lot of change in there. We will talk about the local team. They're one of my favorite teams. We go to all the basketball games. We're starting all the football games. Shout out to my sons that are probably watching this now. Lamar football, they are back on the rise. Mike Schultz has had a great time in turning the tide on that team. You know, of course, they're not a Clemson, Alabama, Georgia.
Right.
But when you're
local.
When you're a local, good, really solid school that we want to see pull more of the locals into their program.
Exactly.
From all these great, I mean, this is a great area of high school football, from the West Orange Starks to the Beaumont United and the Memorial and the P&Gs and the Nederland. I mean, there's some great teams around here. We love to see them keep pulling that local talent into Lamar. Lamar had their first game against Bethel. Of course, you don't really.
A Division III school is hard to gather.
It's hard to gauge
from
it.
that. Yes.
But if they lose,
then
you gauge
we're
the heck
in trouble.
out of it,
Exactly.
You know? So when we're talking the Lamar Bethel game, they came out 65-16. It's what you want to say. They had a few simple minor turnovers in the beginning of the game. I was there at the game. Of course, 409 The Heat Sports was live on the sidelines. I was impressed by what they did, just for the simple fact is they handled their business.
Right. They did what they were supposed to do.
Their quarterback, Shane Johnson, really looked strong. He's a bigger, you know, he's not massive, but he's 6'2". You know, he's about 220, 215, 203 in that area. You know, give or take how many lunches he's had. He ran the ball well. He throws not great, but he puts the ball where it needs to be. He had I believe an interception or two, but they were just bad passes. He overthrew his wide receiver, but the coaching is what you look at. The one big thing I did take out of it, even some of the fans sitting around, my sons and I took out of it, is they're up by 40, middle of third. You still got your starting QB in, and you have no depth at QB.
Flirting with disaster.
No depth. You've got two true freshmen at backup in Alex Connell, who weighs as much as this right here at like a $105. No offense, Alex, okay? But my 8th grader weighs more than you do. Doesn't have a good arm, but that's okay. I'm just saying, we need you in that weight room and on that Panda Express for me, okay?
He's a freshman.
Yeah,
we'll
he's a
freshman. Build up.
Yeah,
Yes.
but eat, my brother. That's all I'm asking. And then Dylan Davidson he really came in and played well, but I would like to see them, when you're in a big blowout game like that, you're up by 40 at halftime.
Let Trevor Lawrence sit.
Yeah, you know, you let the guy sit down and let's see what the freshman can do. But Lamar, we are really looking forward to your year this year. We're hoping for big things to build on what they did last year, and we'd really like to see them go to a bowl. And if you're at a bowl, we will put it here now. 409 The Heat Sports and Mad Sports will be live, and we will be broadcasting live from that game. That is our challenge to you. We will be at that bowl game, so we want you to make a bowl just like we want the basketball team to go to the NCAA this year. So, Lamar, we are rooting for you guys. Of course,
awesome.
The women's soccer team is really good this year. The volleyball team, the women's basketball team is always a powerhouse in their conference. Lamar's got a great little sports
program. We've got Mad Sports in Southeast Texas.
Yeah. All the way. And we've got Mad Sports right here in the Fit Lab. Richard, before we go, we just want to go over, you know, the one cool thing that has really brought us together over the last year or so has been fitness.
Right.
As you could tell from the guns he put on tonight. One of the fittest. If he ever tells you that a workout is impossible, that means he's going to do it in about 2 minutes. So just to let y'all know, give the people really a little, not only a pep talk, but what we do here at the Fit Lab and what you got going on, especially on Wednesdays. And just tell the people what you're kind of about, so the people at home will know it's not just Mad Sports, it's Mad Fitness.
It's just like what you said. It's all about quality of life. We want to improve your quality of life. Just for those daily functional skills you have to be able to do: picking up the dog food, picking up a bag of concrete, picking up the groceries,
picking
and
up your
carrying
wife.
them.
You know, it's like, what? Okay, anyway,
So it's all about just staying functionally fit for the rest of your life. We don't turn to a feeble elderly person overnight. Wake up one morning and go, what happened? We work on it for 40 or 50 years. And the sad part is so many of us are so excited to retire and go do all these bucket list items. But then by the time we reach retirement age, we're in such poor physical condition, we can't do half the stuff that we've been waiting to do, even though we now have the time. And we don't have the time for our kids. We're too tired, our grandkids. So we want to change that just by coming in, working out, in a functional way.
Yeah.
So that you have the mobility and the strength. And every Wednesday we have a little challenge. It's free to the community. Anyone can come do it. Usually takes 2 to 5 minutes to
Or
complete
20.
the challenge.
I've been here a few times.
There are a few longer ones, especially if you're
But
a special case.
I'm slow. Special case. They call me special cases.
But it's fun, and it's about
it is.
challenging yourself and seeing where you are and
And it's
where
not
you can
just lifting
improve.
too. The one cool thing
Oh,
I've always liked
absolutely.
is it's not just, especially those Wednesday challenges. It could be how far can I throw this beanbag at somebody's head. Now it's not that crazy, but
How far can you throw a football?
How
was
far can
actually
you
one
throw a
of them.
football? Deadlift challenges, races, obstacle courses.
Exactly.
You're always making it fun, but challenging at the same time.
Right.
Myself, as someone who deals with lupus on a daily basis, and they say a lupus sufferer. I'm not a sufferer. I'm a survivor. And with what I have going on, this place has been really just a genuine blessing to be able to come in here and get after it and do certain things and not to have that pressure of, oh, this is the way you do it and you can't modify
Right.
anything. It's really been so.
It's all about being proactive. Often in society, we're too reactive. We wait till
for sure.
someone is stricken by cancer, diabetes,
Yeah.
some other
I'm gonna
horrific
change my
disease,
diet now.
and now we're going to attack it. Now we're going to raise money.
Yeah.
When you can go and keep your health at its optimum state, and then you reduce your odds of contracting. No one's guaranteed a free pass, but
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
at least reduce the instances that may happen.
Where can they follow? They can follow FitLab on Facebook.
Right,
and
Facebook,
everything,
Instagram, FitLab, come and see us.
SSAH FitLab on Instagram. So make sure you go follow them and let's get fit. It's one of the big things we've got
Right.
going on
We'll
this
have
year.
some challenges here.
We are going to
later
have
on
some
the show.
challenges. He's going to be challenging me, and I'm going to be challenging the floor. Anyway, look, we've had a great episode. We thank y'all for tuning in. Today's episode was brought to you again by Reliable Copy Services, 2498 Washington Boulevard in Beaumont, Texas. Being there when you need us for all your copying needs. We thank y'all for tuning in to 409 The Heat Sports presents
Mad Sports.
Mad Sports. I'm David Hicks,
I'm Richard James.
and we will see you next week.